All right, take a glance at this chart that we have here that compares employer and non-employer percentages. In part A, as time goes on, does the percentage of employer business establishments increase or decrease? And what about non-employer? Well, notice the employer ones are the grayish color, and we start at 26.9%, and we get closer to 24.1%. And as time goes on from 2005 to 2014, it appears that the employer business ones decrease. Whereas for the non-employer, we start at 73.1% and we go up to 75.9%. So for the non-employer, we would say we are increasing. Awesome. But notice the keyword there in part A was percentage. Because the chart was given to us as percent, we could read it. We could answer the question. Now in part B, be careful. Can the same be true, same conclusions be made for the number of employer business establishments? The answer is no. There's no way of knowing if the number of is increasing, because notice off to the side, it does show us the number of millions of establishments, but we don't know exactly how high each bar is. If we knew how high each bar was, then we can calculate the number of establishments per year of each type and then make a conclusion. So please be careful between when they give you a percent and when they give you a number. So for instance, if you shop for something and it says now with 33% more, that sounds fantastic. But if it were like paper towels, for instance, and there were 3 in a package and now they give you 4, well, that's 33% more, and it sounds much more fancy that you got 33% more than instead of they said now with 1 extra roll. So sometimes they use percentages or versus numbers instead of numbers, or vice versa, to make it sound better. So just be careful when you're reading these problems. Part C, assuming there were 28.3 million business establishments in 2010, approximately how many were employer and how many were non-employer? Well, in 2010, we have 25.1% were employer. So we need to find 25.1% of, means times, 28.3. To find 28.5% of anything, you need to convert it to a decimal, and remember you do that by moving it 2 places to the left, the decimal place. So putting that into the calculator, we'll go to 1 decimal place as our answer. I got 7.1. And the unit is, oops, what's going on? The unit is millions. Stop it! What are you doing? Millions! The reason we know it's millions is because that's off to the side here. And now let's do the same thing for non-employer. The non-employer percentage in 2010 was 74.9. So 74.9% of times 28.3 is equal to 21.2 million.